The theme is don't be precious.
Okay.
Don't be so conservative. Let it rip, let it loose. That's the theme for today's show. And today, during football at 4, I am sending that message directly towards the defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, Ejiro Evero. I'm gonna try to say this as succinctly as possible, and it's not going to be nice, but I think it's like a Band-Aid being ripped off situation. The players aren't getting better for the Panthers defense this season. There is no cavalry just on the other side of the hill that you're waiting to come over and save you. So for now, I'm looking for the play calling to change. If the players can't change, because, it's not that easy. You'd have to go find players somewhere, and it's not like great defensive starters are just, chilling, waiting for their name to be called. If you had Derrick Brown, who I consider an all-pro caliber player, if he were, he had opened his 21-day window to return from IR or something, we could talk about all right, we're just going to stay the course, and when Derrick comes back, he's going to solve a bunch of problems. The issue with that is he's not coming back. He is on season-ending IR. So you're going to have to make it do. You're going to make it work. You're going to have to do the best you can with the materials you have been given. So how does play calling change? Right now, the Panthers defense is on pace to give up the second most points per game in NFL history.
Bruh.
So when I say, could it get worse? The answer is yes, one spot. You could go from second worst of all time to worst of all time.
So slightly.
That you're not absolutely no doubt rock bottom, dead bottom of the dungeon, but you're close. With that being said, it really can't get worse. That was decades and decades ago. The team that gave up more points, I believe it was a 14-game season. So it's a long time ago. It can't get worse. What I will say is your challenge is going to get more difficult slightly. You have faced teams that on average scores the 16th most points per game. Thus far, their average comes out almost exactly to being the 16th best team scoring, which is unbelievably average, right? 32 teams in the league. You have faced, on average, the 16th best scoring teams. That is right down the middle. And you gave up 33.8 points per game, which is awful. The rest of your schedule is slightly better. On average, they are the 13th best scoring teams in the league. So better, but it's not unreal. It's not impossible. It's not like you're facing all juggernauts. The change that I'm asking, the change that is inspired by the don't be precious, don't treat every single mistake like it is a fatal blow, is take chances. Take chances. Think of what the opponent would never think you'd do and do that. What's the last thing on earth they think an Evero defense would do and put it into the playbook? You have to master the element of surprise because you're not going to win one-on-ones. You don't have the dudes. You have maybe 2 or 3 guys I think that can play even with good players on the other team in one-on-one situations. Send blitzes. And don't just make it the blitz that you love, that you've been running on third downs for the last 4 seasons. Send the blitz that you've never sent before. You have to find ways to utilize those few talented pieces that you have within those surprises. How about this? Blitz J.C. Horn. They did it, what? You said you were looking at the stats. They blitzed him once, Dennis? You said they blitzed J.C. Horn one time?
One time this past game,
One time.
yes.
Why not 5 times? Why not walk him up on the line of scrimmage as if you're going to blitz him and then run him back to a deep third? Why not do something crazy? J.C. Horn is one of the guys that has the physical ability to change the game. Why not take your chances with him? Trevin Wallace, rookie linebacker. I really like him. Runs well. Drop him into a Tampa 2. For those of you that don't know what a Tampa 2 is, I'm going to give you the most rudimentary, elementary edition of this.
Okay.
Just 2 safeties, high and wide, right? So just 2 safe. That's where the 2 comes in, right? Cover 2. 2 safeties, high and wide, and the middle section is your middle linebacker, turn and burn, baby. Get deep. It was popularized by Tampa, obviously, with Derrick Brooks because they had a linebacker that could cover like a safety. So they just sent him back. Try it with Trevin Wallace. I know it's not what you do, Evero. I know you're not in the Tony Dungy coaching tree. But you can watch film and figure it out.
Yeah.
You know you're an NFL defensive coordinator. You know the responsibilities. Give it a go. You're playing against a rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels. Does he play like a rookie quarterback? Not so far.
No.
But I still think the way you attack a rookie is you try to confuse him. You try to disguise what you're doing. You try to give him looks he hasn't seen before. You try to make him go, wait, what is a linebacker doing there? What am I missing? You have to take chances. And here's the thing. What's the downside of taking chances? High risk, high reward, right? The high risk part. You might get burnt. You might. You know what's the worst possible scenario for this defense? Next week when we're giving this same speech, I'm saying you have the worst team in NFL history in points per game allowed rather than the second worst team in NFL history in points per game allowed. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is you make the 3 or 4 plays that change the game, and suddenly, despite the fact that you're a huge underdog in this game, you're in it late. Upsets happen, but they don't usually happen with you just playing your base and outplaying the opponent. The huge upsets that happen, usually you can point to like a 14-point swing, right? The opposing team down there on the 12-yard line, looking for a touchdown, preparing to settle for a field goal if they have to, and you return an interception for a touchdown. You take points off their scoreboard, and you get some cheap ones on yours. But that doesn't, or a strip sack, or like those don't happen if you don't take the chance to go after it.
Try something different because what you're doing ain't working. Just not.
And like when I say don't be precious, it's don't, like you said, what you're doing isn't working. Don't be, well, this is my system. I've worked years to develop it. I learned it from my mentor, and I've added my twist. This is my system. That's being too precious with your play call.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love asking this question. What system did Bill Belichick call for 20 years with the Patriots? What's his calling card? Is there a Patriots cover one out there? Is there a blitz that's perfect that the Patriots always used? No, like every week it was all about changing. What does this opponent do well? What's the thing they do best? Let's take that away. Let's surprise them with this. They've had 2 different wide receivers this century play slot corner. Troy Brown and Julian Edelman. He was the best defensive mind of a generation, and he didn't have a system. He knew every system, and he pulled out the ones that he wanted at the right time. Don't be too proud to do, don't be don't
be too proud to change.
Proud to change. It's the on a Friday you're definitely going to get some movie references. It's Remember the Titans. Don't be afraid to walk over to Coach Boone and say, Ed Henry's kicking my tail. And then all of a sudden, sunshine's playing both ways because Coach Boone took over. Like, don't be too proud to walk over and say, hey, listen, what I'm doing with this this defense isn't working. How can we mix it up? And ask Canales, what would you not expect my defense to do if we were going at it last year? Perfect. Let's put that in, see what happens. Can't get worse. I know it can, just one spot, but it really can't get worse.
Really can't.